Hey Anna, I have today lemongrass tea, and it's a change for me. I'm not sure if I quite like it, but it's a new experience. So you talked a lot about change and a lot about labeling ourselves and how we're perceived. And that's something that I struggled with my life, identity, separating myself from who I thought I should be, who I was, and who I wanted to be. And I'm constantly learning about myself, and I'm constantly learning that I can change who I am without changing my identity, if that makes sense. Like, change myself within the confines of who I really am. Well, I've always been perceived as kind of awkward, shy, and introverted, and half of those I put on myself. And I think I put a mold around myself and forced myself to be something. We're in this college English class, and honestly, this is a freaking amazing class. I love the teacher. He's really, really amazing. And he had us write these manifestos. And it was a senior manifesto about what we want to be. And so I want to read you mine, and hopefully I won't go over the time limit. If I do, I'm sorry. As Wendell Berry declares, mad farmers are we, us in this insane society. A society that pushes masks out on an assembly line, never the same size but always the same shape. Never truly our own, yet formed to each face. For their cause we rise, our souls a welding of plastic and flesh, until the flesh is burned away and all that's left is the barcode from which we're scanned. The transparent mask, the window in our head, becomes a shelter from reality, hollowed behind vacant eyes. Inside the mask is rot and decay, aching relationships rot, now rusting away, but never fear, for we can practice resurrection and feel the thrum of cyclical life. As David Gilmour sings, there's a new wind of change, and it's on the rise, whistling through the pores of our mask like Barry. We're doing something that won't compute, because human beings are more than just empty shells shelled out by corporations. We are love, we are together, we are one voice raised up to sing a new song. John Donne writes of a great bell rung only to signify a death. It's our voice that is the tolling of the bells, each breath the melody of humanity. This is not my manifesto alone, but my world's manifesto. My own cry ringing out to be one part of the grand resounding peal, because it tolls for thee and our society. O humanity, at first we spoke as written by Frederick Buechner, not to reveal who we are, but to conceal who we are. For we are islands, each one alone, set adrift in a mask of our own failed expectations and self-deprecation. With the pitch of our own truest voice, rise, as island calls to island across the silence, and those fake faux words we've been muttering will be no more. A lilt in the wind of change, streaming new breath, breathing in life, breathing in love, expelling out words of truth. These words are spoken from the heart, will not be bloated and swollen by the temptation of a self-serving society, but will be fresh in the flavor of life together that can erode our empty masks and set them adrift. We will be filled to the brim with love that is pontifex, bridge builder, and not bridge burner, because we have so many yet to shape. Nest the archipelago from tree to tree as we follow Wendell Berry's advice to plant sequoias and create a habitat for our community, a perennial garden of connections engrafted throughout our history and culture, a new burgeoning society set in motion. It is my declaration to not think of myself, but for the generations of those to follow, making tracks in the earth that will not mar her body but heal it, to actively pursue the ones still hidden in their masks, to draw them out into the orchestra of humanity. It is self that cries to self, mere mortals against the current of time, bunched together in deliberate living. And I will live as my purest self, raw and uncut, and I will never apologize for being myself, but for the times that I stumble and fall and forget my true self. As mad farmers take up this cause and make the choice to choose the conviction of humanity as your own, not a principle of plastic but of flesh, live to be fully human, wear the human identity boldly, and do not turn away from injustice and suffering, however minute it may be. Together we can be planters of forests, the love that is pontifex, the tolling of the bells, the new wind of change, and a society of mad farmers. This is our liberation. So that had a little bit more to do with injustice and seeing that in our society. The assignment got me thinking about who I want to be. And you have a new school, but I've been in my school system since I was in kindergarten. We're both in the same problem where we kind of struggle to break our own molds, to break our own boundaries that have been set for us by ourselves or by others. Change is inevitable, and I think change is a good thing. And I like that you found it refreshing. I'm glad you're having such awesome friends. And strip horror, I've never heard of that. I don't know if that sounds awesome or not. I mean, I'm trying to get my friends to watch horror movies, so I don't even think my friends will do that. But we'll see. You have to let me know how it goes either way. The beauty of change and the beauty of going into new places is that you don't have to have that stigma you had. And I think that you are able to become more than that. And I'm not saying you can't work hard. You clearly are a driven person. And so am I. And I sometimes lose that. I sometimes prioritize academics over things that I feel like would enrich my human experience. And that's kind of what I want to do this year. I want to enrich my own human experience. I think it'll be a challenge to break that stigma, to break that mold, to make yourself be perceived as a first impression, acceptable and approachable. But I just want to, I know you know this, to relieve the pressure, but you say it's a lot of pressure, and in a way it is, but in a way it isn't, because as humans, we're complex individuals. We cannot expect to know someone to the fullest extent. We're not with them 24/7. It is impossible to know anyone 100%. It's easy to fall into the trap of first impressions, but I also think that they're not difficult to break. Even just doing something out of character that's in your character that other people don't see, showing different sides, just living to be authentically you, I think is the best thing that you can do. And I know it's difficult to become and seem approachable because I struggle with that. And I found a lot of the times me approaching other people, and I know it's freaking scary, trust me, I know, helps break that stigma and helps put myself out of the comfort zone. And I hate, but love being out of my comfort zone because it pushes me to grow as a person. And it certainly pushes, oh, you just texted me. And it certainly pushes me to strive and to strive to be my best person and to show the world as well as myself that I'm not just these little label makers that I have put on myself and that have been attached to me. And that's something that doesn't have a single answer or that can fit in a 5, hopefully, minute video. But I have gotten to know you over the past year fairly well. I know you're an awesome person. I know you're driven, and I know you're funny, and I know you're hilarious, and I know you're opinionated, but I know that your opinions, you value other people's thoughts as well. And I think you can just go crazy and be authentically you to the best extent because you only have a year with these people. And so if it goes really crazy and weird and everyone is just like, who is this chick? You're gone in a year. And if not, and you push yourself and find yourself in going authentically you, I think that could be something really great too. And I mean, I have one more thing to read, and it's not by me. It's by Robert Frost, and it's one that I read in middle school, and it really changed my perspective on things. Nature's first green is gold, her hardest hue to hold. Her early leaves a flower, but only so an hour. Then leaf subsides to leaf, so Eden sank to grief. So dawn goes down to day, nothing gold can stay. Now those last two lines, so dawn goes down to day, nothing gold can stay, really, really hit me. And I'm a person that really responds to nature, so I already like the poem for that. As a lasting note, I wrote, I'm writing Hunter a journal, and I included this for when we go off to college, because we're in this weird limbo, and this week was a weird week of change, because Hunter was at risk, and you know this, for a couple of days, for actually the majority of the week. She was in the cancer ward at a children's hospital because they were testing her for cancer, and it was this weird, scary limbo of, is this going to change our lives forever? But we're waiting for it, and it's really bizarre, and it was a really weird week, and you helped me get through it a lot. I think it's weird because change is constant, and as much as a contradictory statement as that is, it's almost comforting because the bad, the awkward, the seemingly labels we're given, they're going to change. Yes, good things are going to come in our lives and go out, but bad is going to come in and go right back out. And we're going to weather the storm together. And I think it's really kind of beautiful. And that's what life's about. Life is a roller coaster. And I don't know about you, I'm kind of ready to ride. I'm finally tall enough. So that got really deep too. And I was going to add some humor, but I don't think I have time for that. So we're just going to end with that. I'm done with my tea now, but I had a panda bear mug because you had your cool New York one. And I was like, what's happy? Pandas are happy.